This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
So it's been said that we create our reality. Everything around us, it came from us. You might not realize it. It might be hard to believe, but many believe that this is what's around you right now is your reality, and that you can intentionally get the things you want and you feel you deserve through manifestation. How does this all work? I've been studying it for a long time, trying to figure it out, crack the code, if you will. And we're going to go into that today. And maybe we're doing it wrong. Maybe that's why things aren't showing up, or maybe that's why things you don't really want are showing up. She is somebody that runs deep in this as a galactic shaman, a Reiki master. She's a healer for humans and animals, a sound healer as well, and our professional of the year. I've had sessions with her. She's fantastic in terms of clearing your energy, and part of that energy is your manifestation. Shayna Blackmar is back with us. How you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing well. This is going to be a great topic, and I love what you said there too, on a little point that what you deserve. There's
Yeah.
so many facets to manifestation, and probably the most important is our own frequency.
And that deserve thing came up for me like a year or so ago, where somebody said that word. I'm like, yeah. Okay. It's not about the want or the need. It's more about the deserve. So it kind of reframes it in a different way.
Yeah, and everything we're thinking, our thoughts create our reality. So, but then as far as how fast it comes in, these creations, these manifestations depends on multiple factors. Depends on our vibration. It depends on if what you're wanting to create is something that is best for you. If it is, then there'll be a lot fewer roadblocks. If it's not, there's going to be a lot of interference, and it's going to take longer to come in. And then, yeah, there's just all these other things. Sometimes we can hold on to it so tight that we constrict the flow. Right? I know I've been guilty of that.
Oh yeah.
Right?
And that I think that also comes under the category of lack, coming from a place of lack. Like, when is it going to show
Right.
up?
Yeah,
When?
exactly. There's so many factors. So the vibration thing, as we rise in frequency, so say your thought of what you want, say it's a job, and a nice little thing you can look at to see that it's true is look at your life and the things you have now. And I guarantee you, most, if not all of it, is something you thought about at some point that you wanted or thought it would be cool, or wouldn't it be funny if I did this, whether it was last year, 5 years, 10 years ago, or when you were a child. So it has all come in. It just sometimes takes a lot longer than we want or realize that that is what we're creating. So our thoughts are first and foremost how we create, how we manifest our reality. And then as far as our vibration goes, the thought, the creation is way up high, coming in from source, coming in from the universe to you. And you basically are rising up to meet it. So the higher your vibration, the faster y'all are going to come together, you and your creation. So that's why we're coming into, you've probably heard about in 5D, instant manifestation. Well, that's because the vibration is so high that it can come to you quickly.
So right here, I have my vision board. It's a little over a year old. A lot of it's outdated, goals and things like that, because they've changed, and that's all good. Reframe certain things. There are certain things on here I believe should be here or that I deserve, uh, I'm going to be honest with you. I gave up.
Trash it.
I
It's
gave
not
up.
worthy. Well, and that what we think we deserve or feel we deserve, that's part of our frequency. If we don't feel we deserve something, that's holding us way down here in this lower frequency. So we can never come together with our creation if we're not rising our frequency to meet it.
So, what if you truly believe you deserve something? And I'm going to push to the side some of those things, the money, the house, and all of that. You might feel you deserve that, but that's more of we'll call them wants. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But some of the other things that you just feel that should have shown up. You've done the work. You feel like you're a good person. You deserve. Hasn't shown up. So how do you gauge where your frequency is on that particular, let's say, item? We'll focus on one thing. Um, and how do you know you're not blocking it? You don't think you are. Bring it
Yeah,
on. But how do you know?
that's a good question. So there are different ways that we can block it. Um, One is if there's blocks and you haven't done your work, whether it's money or relationship or job, if you haven't cleared some sort of unconscious block or something, a pattern, it could be an ancestral pattern that has nothing to do with you in
Uh,
this lifetime, that still needs to be cleared because it's in your DNA. So
mm,
that's where the energy healing comes in and is really
ooh,
important.
ooh,
Uh,
that one actually hurts because that's somewhat out of your control. It is in your control because you can call upon somebody like yourself to clear that energy, but you're not going to know. I mean, I guess you just got to clear it all. You may be doing everything right, but it's in your lineage.
Right. Well, and another factor to that is you're here because you can clear it all. That's why you're here at this point in your lineage.
Say that again and explain it more.
So, all of us that are here at this time doing our work, helping, on the ascension path, wanting to raise our vibration, doing what we can, help the planet, whatever part of that calls to you, is because you're a strong soul that is here to handle and work through, has the strength, the soul strength to work through these challenges, these immense challenges of being here right now. Not because there's anything wrong with your mother or your grandmother or, any of your past generations. They did the best that they could, and you're coming in because you're stronger and able to not only work within your own life, but help and do the work to help clear the ancestral line. Because us coming into new earth, raising our vibration, ascending, all of that, basically everything has to be cleared to the 0 point. And
Mm.
so it's just about loving it all up and dissolving the low vibrations, the past, all of that, because it's done. It doesn't matter. How are we going to move forward?
So can we, and I feel in our society nowadays, we have very short attention spans. We need to be led. GPS, click the button, you just drive and do what it says. Can we GPS this manifestation thing? And we'll pick one thing. Finding the perfect, I don't want to say perfect, finding the person that best suits you. You align with them, maybe a soul connection, soulmate, whatever it may be. Let's go there. Can you walk us through the process?
Yeah, I'll walk you through what I found works best for me, and hopefully it works best for others.
I'm listening.
Um, so I found it's really, really good to be general and specific. And so what I mean is, say a job. Um, if you're too specific, then you're limiting and constricting what is best for you. If you say, I want to be, um, I don't know, a lawyer, and maybe that doesn't come through because that's not what is best for you or what you're meant to do on your soul journey. And so there's all these roadblocks, all of this stuff that's happening. Um,
Well, in the example of finding the perfect person, it's like I only want
sorry, yes.
somebody that's got brown eyes and brown hair. That's my type. That's the one. You think it is, but if you're going to make it so narrow,
It's
now you
limiting.
it's
Yeah.
limiting. So, I would say just make them show up with the qualities that you're looking for. I don't care what they look like. I do want to find them attractive and um, connect with them, but I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Right. And it's yes, back to the perfect person for you. That's good because you want again to be general and specific. What do you want in that relationship?
Hmm.
And if that needs to be refined, like you find someone who has a lot of those qualities, but then after a certain amount of time and it's not working, then you realize, oh, wait, I want this even more so. Say you want someone who is, on the same path or is funny or really intelligent,
Hmm.
that kind of thing. And that's great and fun, and y'all have a good connection, but they're immature or not doing their work or whatever. So then you refine it, if that person doesn't do their own work and rise up with you,
Hmm.
you refine it for the next relationship. Okay, I want someone who's smart and funny and we really connect, who's also doing their own work, who's also mature, who's all
Yep.
of these other things. So you're not being specific with how they look because that's external and limiting.
Yep.
But if you are focusing on the qualities, then that will come to you, especially as long as you're doing your work. Each person has to do their work to come up into that frequency for it to be a match. And then what I had mentioned before is important too, is trust. You think about what you want, put it out there. Okay, universe, this is what I want. And then you go about doing your work, your healing work, your work, whatever, following your joy, trusting that it's going to come in.
Mm.
Because when we're constantly like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? We're in a state of fear, lack, and that's keeping the vibration low. So you're not up to meet this high vibrational person.
So it sounds like you're saying establish it and let it go, like you're
Yeah, take
letting a
it with
dove
love. Like, thank you. I trust you're that
fly
person's
away.
speaking to me.
Yeah. And,
Yeah,
and I would imagine like a vision board or journaling that you need to do that to make it more concrete, more real. It's one thing to think it, and a lot of times when we think things, there's variations. We don't even know we're doing it, but yeah. I would like that person to have done the work and be deeply spiritual. But then there's a squirrel brain to document it, put it down, and also I got another thought here. Like dating apps have deal breakers. So if, let's say I want to meet somebody that lives within 20 miles. If they're outside of the 20-mile radius, deal breaker, that's not going to work. So it sounds like not a deal breaker in terms of looks. Whatever shows up, as long as it's a great person and we connect, fantastic. But there could be deal breakers, like if they aren't
absolutely.
emotionally intelligent, deal breaker. I'm not. I can't accept that. So I'm just thinking, you don't have to call them deal breakers because that could be taken negatively, but just making a list of the things that you have to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's part of knowing and honoring your own value and worth.
Hmm.
That isn't going to work for me, and no judgment about someone who is emotionally immature or whatever. That is just not going to work for me long term,
Yep.
you
Yeah.
know?
Totally.
Yeah,
Mm.
if you want something long term, then you need X, Y, and Z. If you want something short term, then A, B, and C. It just depends on what you want.
So I've also heard too that we should visualize that it's already here. It already showed
Yeah,
up.
that's part of feeling and trusting and rising up to that vibration. So that's another way that you can rise to meet it, essentially.
Hmm. Where, not to be negative, but where does it go wrong? So coming from a place of lack, um, not trusting. What are some of the other things that we want to be careful about?
If it's something that just is not what's best for you, I found it's good to kind of with the general bit be asking for, okay, what is best for me that has these qualities that I want, whether it's a person or a job. I want to help people. I want to have a relationship where we work together or
Mm-hmm.
um, so calling in what is best for you with the qualities that you want versus limiting it to, I want someone who looks like this, or I
Mm-hmm.
want to I want to do that job. Maybe you like the qualities of that job, but that actual job isn't what's
So,
for
question
you.
about this. What if you were just to say, I want, I, I desire and deserve the a job that best suits me and is best for me, universe, and not even get specific. Universe, please send me the person that is going to be my soulmate and I connect with, and the one that is right for me. Would it be okay to do that instead of going into those details?
I just got chills. That would be amazing. That's what's literally harnessing your limitless power.
That's where I'm going with that. And it all comes down to what's best for you anyway. So,
Right. And so when you're open, you're not limiting it, then you are limitless. And the universe is going to bring you what you want, and you can even say, like, I'm open to receive opportunities for my highest good. I'm open to receive, excuse me, my perfect partner. I'm open to receive. You're allowing it in, you're giving it space rather than holding on to it so tight that you strangle it.
can I be honest?
Of
Always
course.
am. So I got to say it. When I just said that, what you felt, I felt. I'm not kidding. It was almost like
Confirmation.
somebody opened a window and just fresh air came in. I was like, I just felt something like because it seems like it just comes down to that. We can, make our list of what we want, like a kid, around the holidays, write them all down. But ultimately, what's going to show up in your life is what should show up in your life.
Mhm.
So why limit it?
Exactly.
And if it's not right for you, you're going to know. But I believe if you just throw it out there like that, it's going to be the right thing. Because that's the way it's supposed to be.
Absolutely. And one of the mantras that I say for myself every day is I am limitless. And since I've been saying that, it's really interesting because when I come up with a challenge or, a roadblock or something, just by being in the energy of saying I am limitless,
Hmm.
that allows so much possibility. It's
Hmm.
so much easier to think outside the box, ask the universe, okay, show me a different way. Because if the universe is limitless, then there's a way to do what needs to be done. So show me how to do it.
And I believe that there's always a way. There's always a
Right.
solution. We
But
might
the
not see it.
human aspect of ourselves, we limit it.
Exactly. Uh, hmm. So would it make sense? All right, got a vision board. All right, got pictures of this, that, and all. Fantastic. Should we do that, or should we just put something in front of us that we see all the time that says, "Universe, bring me what is best for me." Period. I am limitless. Period. And just put that in front of you.
Yeah, I'm hearing that both are good, whatever calls to you in a way that helps you align to being open to receive daily,
Hmm. Yeah.
open to receive what is best, open to receive love, open to receive abundance.
And trust that that's what's going to happen.
Right. Yeah, you're saying it because you align with it because you want it, because you know in your heart that you deserve it. It's true.
Yep.
Even if you have to keep saying it until you do feel like you deserve it, because you do.
Yep.
Um, and and that helps again raise your vibration up to that frequency of receiving as well.
So we have an email. I would love to go to it. We're going to pivot now. It's
Okay.
I mean, it looks like it's connected to energy, and that's what we're talking about here. This is Dawn, Ocala, Florida, and she reached out by way of instant feedback, Steve at gmail.com. She says, I appreciate your conversation, and I've been trying to learn more. How do you distinguish between emotional wounds, spiritual wounds, and physical illness when you work with someone?
Well, they're all connected.
Hmm.
So if one is showing up in one body, it's in all the bodies in some form or fashion. And you've got to clear all the bodies.
So, how would we define, well, I mean, it's a little bit rhetorical, emotional wounds, spiritual wounds, and of course, physical illness? The spiritual wounds, how do we define that?
Hmm. Yeah, that's more crown chakra stuff. Well, it depends on the wound, actually, because it could be religious based. It could be, um, going towards complete lack of faith or atheism.
Hmm.
Those tend to be more in the spiritual realm.
And certainly the emotional, that's obvious. Could be
Right,
traumas.
and the spirit body is connected to the emotional body. So yeah, any emotions we have around any of that are going to be connected.
So, based on Dawn's question, how do we know? And we all got stuff physically going on. I got a rotator cuff thing going on here. Hurts more today. Like all the, it's just it's part of being a human. Um, how do you know what physical illness is connected to potentially emotional wounds, spiritual wounds? That stuff that you basically created without knowing you did it. You created that dis-ease with all this stuff, not clearing energy, holding tension, and then the body reacts. It's trying to tell you something. The way it speaks is you have pain, you have issues. How do you know if it's that or that it's just you got hurt, or something, or genetic or whatever? Is there a way to distinguish between it, or is it just start clearing out the energy and then see what's left?
Well, there's always lots of layers. So oftentimes you have to work through what's presenting at that point. So another deeper layer so that you can work through and allow the root cause to really show itself. As far as what's happening in the physical body, so wounds will come in through all of the subtle bodies and then eventually present themselves in the physical body. So that's kind of like the bottom floor of, okay, something is hasn't been dealt with. There's a wound here that needs to show up, and it's showing up to be healed. It's showing up to help you work through it. Um, and even if it's so that could be like a disease or um, say even with acne or something, there's a lot of heat, a lot of fire, a lot of things moving through, a lot of sensitivity that's not being honored, a lot of things like that. But even if it's an acute situation like you hurt your shoulder,
Hmm.
if we could get injured in all different ways, but getting hurt in that specific place points to there was a pothole in the road, making that area more likely to be injured.
You are reading my mind. That's exactly where I was going with that. Where I'm thinking you could have had things going on, traumas, holding tension, or whatever, and that compromised a body
Mhm.
part, and then you're playing tennis, and then you got an injury. You
Mhm.
normally wouldn't have gotten that injury if things were all cleared out.
Right.
Hmm.
If you were following your intuition, if you were,
Yeah, yeah,
processing emotions, things like that.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And honestly, as I trace it back and based on things I've heard, my little shoulder issue, it's like 2 years in the making. I got to address it at some point. It's not that bad, but it's a little challenging. Based on what you just said, I am convinced that there was stuff that set that up. And then I was doing something, playing tennis or whatever. And it's more vulnerable. That's where I'm going with that. I
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I feel that. I totally do. Clear out the energy. Wipe the slate. And how do what we've done it, you've done it for me. How do we connect with you?
My website is vurusha.com, Vurusha, and I'm on social media on Instagram at Shayna Blackmar Healing.
Thank you for today and shedding some light on all of this. And you know, the universe, bring me what I deserve. I'm open to it.
Awesome. Thank you. I hope it
Yeah.
helped.
Yep. I appreciate it. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.